thanks to the child tax credit. By increasing the credit, making it fully refundable, and authorizing us on an equally important but often overlooked provision that made the CTC.
Mr. Moore, I don't believe the top dais would agree with your inaccurate statements earlier. Mr. Gomez?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
That's unanimous.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioner Wolfo. Thank you for being here today. I call the lower part of the dais, the part of the dais that's closest to the people. So, and I'm proud that we all here are fighting for our constituents. I want to talk about the child tax credit. In 2021, we saw child poverty cut by nearly half in a single year thanks to the child tax credit. By increasing the credit, making it fully refundable, and authorizing monthly payments, we use the tax code to deliver relief directly to American families. 3 million children were lifted out of poverty. But despite our policies giving working and middle-class Americans more money in their pockets, which all my Republican colleagues claim is their goal, every Republican Congress let these vital provisions expire. We did see some progress from Republicans last month when we passed a bipartisan package to strengthen the CTC. But ultimately, Republicans refused to support the provisions that have been proven to dramatically reduce child poverty. Provisions like increasing the maximum credit and ensuring a full refundability to help kids and families who need the credit the most. But I want to focus on an equally important but often overlooked provision that made the CTC so effective: monthly checks. Parents know kids need diapers, formula, food, clothes, and they need it not once a year, but they need it every single day, every single week, and every single month. You can't pay down your child's hunger once at the end of each year. By giving families the money they are entitled to in monthly payments, we boosted monthly income and put their money back in their pockets. Making payments monthly instead of annual has the power to change the lives of working people all over the country. That sounds like something the Republicans should support if you listen to what they want from the tax code. Commissioner, given the progress made and lessons learned in 2021, does the IRS already have much of the infrastructure and knowledge to quickly roll out advanced payments of the child tax credit if Congress acts?
It certainly was a beneficial moment for us to re-engineer our systems, update our processes, and go through the effort and resolve it successfully. I like to say we now have the muscle memory and should be able to implement something like that easier than if we were trying it for the first time.
I appreciate that. And one of the things that I was informed about is that it also wouldn't cost that much. So it's something that I know would make a difference. You know, some people say it's only $250 to $500 or even $700 a month, but to working people, that is a lot of money that
Absolutely.
can make a difference when it comes to making basic ends meet. And then another aspect of making the child tax credit effective is ensuring that taxpayers claiming the credit are treated equitably. Last year, I wrote a letter requesting the IRS to further analyze and report existing data by race and gender to help us better understand how other historically marginalized communities may be impacted by racial disparities in audit selection. I appreciate your leadership announcing that the IRS is taking meaningful steps to address these disparities, especially for refundable credits like the EITC and the CTC. Commissioner, can you please update us on this work, including any information about the case selection practices driving these disparities and steps being taken to address the disparities I just mentioned?
Yes, the big takeaways you should have are the following. One, we are significantly reducing the number of EITC audits because audit volume was identified in the independent report as being one of the main drivers of disparate impact. Second, we have changed the case selection algorithm with an intent specifically to reduce the disparities that were existing in our case selection. We'll be able to report in the fall of '24 timeframe whether the changes that we made are having the intended impact of eliminating the disparity. Furthermore, we now want to work to make sure that we are constantly evaluating disparate impact in IRS operations, and we're working on the best way to do that. And in particular, it's often important to work with external stakeholders. This whole issue surfaced by an independent report. So partnering with various stakeholders who can evaluate the impact of IRS operations along with us is critical. So strengthening those partnerships is another part of the plan.
Thank you, Commissioner. When Chairman Neal established the racial economic equity working group when we were in the majority, it's an issue that we feel is important because if Americans feel like the tax system is fair, they're more likely to comply. So with that, I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
In monthly payments, we boosted monthly income and put their money families. 3 million children were lifted out of poverty. But despite our policies giving formula, food, clothes, and they need it not once a year, but they need. And Commissioner Wolfo, thank you for being here today. I call the lower part of the dais the part once at the end of each year. By giving families the money they are entitled